Hey, Texas Values friends, Jonathan Saenz here, president of Texas Values. We're here on the convention floor in my beloved town of Houston for the Republican Party of Texas state convention. It happens every 2 years, typically. COVID kind of got in the way last year. But and so this is every 2 years. You've got delegates from all over the state that come here, talk about the different issues they care about. They put together sort of a list of standards, platforms, as it's called, beliefs of what the Republican Party believes in. Many of those are pro-life, religious freedom, marriage, and family. And so someone who knows a lot about the pro-life issue is going to be our guest today, and that's Lee Dickson. You're probably familiar with some of the work going on around the state related to designating cities as sanctuary cities for the unborn. Also litigation that the abortion groups have engaged in, trying to really quiet, silence, and censor people like us that are pro-life. Lee Dickson leads the Right to Life of East Texas. Mark, good to be with you.
Hey, great to be here.
So, you and I haven't spent a lot of time together in person, but I know we've been doing similar work. But, your work is on the ground, it's at a local level, and I know it's really tough sometimes, as pro-life as Texas is, going around the city trying to convince city councils to do something about this issue, designating cities as sanctuaries for the unborn. Tell us a little about how you got started in that. I'll let you hold the mic.
Well, it all started, I was at an abortion facility in Shreveport, Louisiana, and while I was there, I was pleading with the mothers who were going in there to choose life, and ended up, one of them shared with me that they were wanting to, they felt like pressure that they needed to make a decision soon, because someone on the inside of that facility said that they may be closing down soon. The June Medical Services, Rich Russo, was the case before the court at that time. We really didn't know what was going to happen. And it got me thinking, what would happen if Hope Medical Group for Women were to close their doors? And I didn't think they would just open up an ice cream shop or do some other kind of work. They would find some way to do abortions, because those people, that's what they do. And so I remembered a story that I read from some newspaper clippings I had. It was the Marshall News Messenger in the early 90s about an abortion facility, a Shreveport facility, looking at crossing the border 18 miles to Austin, Texas. So what had happened was someone down the Houston area had pledged land in a building to that abortion facility. That land in that building was in Austin, Texas. And so at that time, ended up, I was thinking about that information, and I just felt led to reach out to the mayor of Wasco, Mayor Jesse Moore, and share with him my concerns. And he said, what do we need to do? And I said, you need to pass an ordinance outlawing abortion within the city limits. He said, can you expedite me that ordinance? I said, sure. I ended up, was up at a Chick-fil-A and looking at this ordinance that we came up with, and I was thinking, I don't want to see the city sued into oblivion. And so I texted my Senator Brian Hughes, and he said, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine, Jonathan Mitchell. And
that's a good friend to have these days.
Absolutely.
So let me, real quick, what's the population of Wasco?
2,189.
Because a lot of the cities where this has been happening has been smaller cities. But I'll tell you what's been interesting about it, this effort to designate cities as sanctuary cities for the unborn, it's created some momentum, right? During some of the time period where Texas passed the Texas Heartbeat Law, there's been litigation about a lot of these pro-life issues. You have these things happening out in Lubbock, different places where it's just created this energy, this synergy, if you will, moving in the right direction on the life issue. And a lot of local people saying, we can get involved in this. Now we're in a setting, Texas Heartbeat Law has been in place for 9 months, and you could average that out, close to 40,000 lives being saved. And now we're in a position where we can see Roe versus Wade overturned. What do you think Texas looks like, or in sort of your experience in some of these cities, what things are going to be like, and I hope when, not if, but when Roe versus Wade is overturned?
Well, it's going to be great in a post-Roe Texas. We have the pre-Roe statutes, we have the trigger law, we have the Texas Heartbeat Act, and all of those in a perfect world with leadership that is conservative, it's a great place to be. However, we know that not all our cities have conservative leadership. We all across this state that have said they're going to ignore the laws. We know there's city council members and there's city attorneys and there's mayors that they're going to put this as the lowest priority. And so that is why it's so important that we keep on passing pro-life legislation, that we make sure that this private enforcement mechanism covers all of life, to the point of conception, and that we are able to push back on when we have leadership that's not willing to do what needs to be done. People need to be able to do the job.
Well, and look, the reality is, you and I you're more involved than I am in a case now where abortion industry is trying to shut down our free speech. This case is up at the Texas Supreme Court. We filed an amicus brief in support of it because we know how important it is. I certainly do as an attorney to make sure free speech is protected. And now the Texas Supreme Court has taken a look at this case, which is sort of the direction we needed to go to get to a better result. But look, I mean, when the Supreme Court rules by the end of June on this issue, the Dobbs-Jackson case, this abortion case that could overturn Roe versus Wade, there's a whole lot we don't know what's going to happen. What we do know is we've got state law that's protection of life issue. We've got $100 million of alternatives to abortion funding. Texas has over 300 pregnancy centers. I think we're in a good position to give that support and to help women really validate that natural instinct, which is to keep that baby.
Absolutely. And this is something where, what a great state to live in. We are leading the way, and there are so many states all across America that are following Texas' lead.
Absolutely.
And I'm so grateful for groups like Texas Values and Texas Right for Life and West Texas for Life, and all the groups are doing everything they can to this fight for life.
Well, look, I'll tell you as we close out, one of the big things is we got to stay united, right? The more that the life folks is supportive of the life issue, stay united, because the other side is going to be looking for one way or another to try to split people up. And to keep that connection locally, which is what you've been doing a great job, and it's giving people something to cheer for, to be excited about. And now I believe we're on the doorsteps of history, and you've been a big part of it. So Mark Lee Dickson, thanks for being our guest today.
Thank you.
Look forward to visiting with you more. We'll have more updates from the convention floor here in Houston, Texas.